for the second leg. Well, let's go back to the studio where there was a lot of positive predictions. I can't remember whether or not anyone said 2-0, but anyway, they were both right. Natalie.
Welcome back to Matchday Live, where City have won the first leg, semi-final of the League Cup against Newcastle, 2-0. 2-0 away at St James's Park is some result, and look what that means to Erling Haaland and to Pep Guardiola. All of the players and the staff celebrating as they should. So we take a 2-goal lead into the second leg, which is back at the Etihad Stadium on the 4th of February. I'm still joined in the studio by Steph Horton and by Amos Murphy. Steph, for you, we deserved that.
We really did. I think when you go on second half performances, to go away to Newcastle and really perform, it could have been obviously 3. I think we'll probably talk about VAR in a bit, but I think that goal really topped off that second half performance. The substitutions, the energy, I think to bring them back to the Etihad 2-0 up is a very, very good performance, and the boys should be so proud, especially keeping a clean sheet as well.
Keeping a clean sheet, phenomenal, yeah. And Amos, you predicted 3-1, and I thought you were crazy, but City have won by 2, so I'll give you that.
And they scored 3 goals because we had taken that Semenyo second goal. Forget about the VAR decision. No, I don't think you can underestimate how big of a milestone that is for this young team, because they've had hurdles and, away from home at times have struggled to get across the line. But second half performance, I asked for a sensible approach, and they certainly were. You could see that they went at the right time. They knew when to attack. The changes were fantastic. Whether or not they were pre-planned, whether or not that was an in-game switch from Pep, just a great second half performance.
Love to hear the City fans now, because they are high up in that stadium, by the way. I've been as an away fan. You are on the 5th level, so the fact that we can hear them and you can see what it means to the players as well. Obviously, the job is not done. They will know that, but any 2-0 victory at St James's Park is phenomenal. You said as well, Steph, that we've got a clean sheet. First clean sheet for the youthful Kushanoff-Elaine partnership as well.
Yeah, they were both fantastic. I mean, I think Elaine, he showed so much maturity, I think, with and without the ball. And you're coming against the likes of Vissa, you're coming against another type of striker in Voltemade, and dealt with them both. But the most important thing was actually what he did with the ball. He really caused Newcastle problems. He really kind of got out of the press, and a clean sheet will give us the biggest boost of confidence ahead of the derby on Saturday. And look, I think there'll be some smiles. And also for James Trafford, I think the opportunities have come. Not as much for him this season, but I think he was excellent when under pressure, from corners, set pieces, and a very well-deserved clean sheet.
And we definitely made a couple of really crucial saves in that game, Amos.
Yeah, there was one which he tips onto the bar, fantastic save, and claiming crosses as well. He's a really confident goalkeeper, and it must be difficult because most of the squad, injuries, outfield players, they come in. You've got one goalkeeper, and they are going to play, Premier League, Champions League. And I think Pep has kind of shouldered that responsibility. He's been asked questions about it, and he's been like, I have a goalkeeper, I have a number one. It's that one position you can't change that much. So to see him there, step into that role, fantastic. Absolutely buzzing for him and buzzing for all of them.
But yeah, I completely agree. Buzzing for all of them. I thought that was such a good second half performance, because we talked at half time about the fact there was no shots on target. It'd been a fairly, quiet half. We did mention that it had been simmering, and I think it's fair to say that it ruptured and boiled right over in that second half. They ended up, I think it was 9 yellow cards, including City's set piece coach,
James French.
Yes, who got booked. We thought they were going for Pep.
Who was so placid, by the way. So.
Yeah, I think Pep thought he was going for Pep as well. He was like, I've not done anything.
But for a game that was, simmering, 8 yellow cards for players, I think 6 of them came in that second half, Steph. It boiled over.
And that is part of Newcastle's game plan. They're not hiding from that. They've got players that are very physical. They like to have them individual battles, and I think Bernardo, off the last league game against Newcastle, was involved with Joe Linton. So you knew that at some point both of them were going to be carded. But I liked it, I think it is just about who wants it more. And I think sometimes it might be that physical battle that wins it, but also a bit of both, I think. And tactically and technically, we were a lot better than Newcastle today.
Always seems to be Joe Linton, by the way. It always seems to be Joe Linton. OK, so City's 3 goals in that second half. Let's talk about the first of those, because it came from that lovely cross by Doku. And then there was the little touch on by Bernardo Silva. What did you make of it?
Yeah, really nice work to move, because we were saying at half-time, if you get the ball to those wingers that City have had, they have such quality that they can get at players, they can be direct. And to be fair, I thought Lewis Hall played really well throughout the match on the left-hand side, but I think Doku against Lewis Miley, young lad, again, talented, but I think it was a difficult afternoon or evening, for him. Great touch from Bernardo, and something that really impressed me about Semenyo finish, it didn't just fall to him, he had to make the run. So to be aware in that moment at the back post to crash it, I think that's something that at times City have lacked in the final the 18-yard box this season. So yeah, incredible, fantastic.
And then the finish for Anton Semenyo, another goal for him. He got a goal on his debut against Exeter at the weekend, a goal now in the League Cup semi-final. Steph, talk about a dream start to his life in a Manchester City shirt.
Yeah, a great start. I think you've seen him on the right wing, you've seen him on the left wing, and he was contributing and he was linking up with players, and he seems though he's got that connection already with the likes of Cherki for Cherki's goal, the final goal. And I think what Amos said in terms of making the move, you have to be there at the right time, and you've got to just kind of guess that the ball's going to land there. And that cross from Doku, it gets knocked on by Bernardo Silva, so we had more bodies in the box. And I think as well to take it on his left foot when it's maybe a little bit behind him, it's impressive. It shows how technical he is, but really pleased for him, because I think these are the games where this is why you want to be at Manchester City, is these semi-final games, and looking forward to hopefully making a final.
Steph, he's been here like 5 days.
What an impact.
What an impact. How hard is it? Talk to us about being a player and going to a new club. What he's doing in settling in this quick, how incredible is that?
Yeah, it is really incredible, because I think the way that we play is very, very specific, and that's with and without the ball. And I think it does help that you've got so many amazing players around you. But look, we knew he was a good player at Bournemouth. I think what he did there with the team, and no disrespect in terms of the quality of play that they had, they've done amazing over the last few seasons. But I think his numbers in terms of scoring, assisting has been pretty scary. That's probably why everybody had them in the fantasy football team, me included. But I think for me to come in over these last 5 days, get your FA Cup debut, go in the semi-final and score in both games is, yeah, super.
Anton Semenyo is currently doing his post-match interview. We are getting it. And he has said of the environment here at Manchester City that it is perfect. And he's also gone on to say that his second goal should have stood. Anton Semenyo, we all agree with you. In fact, everybody in the world, bar 3 people, agree with you.
And Newcastle fans.
Yeah.
I reckon when they see it back, the rational ones, Steph, are even going to be on our side with it.
I don't know whether there's many of them rational, if I'm being honest.
You've been waiting to get that in. All show, you've done well so far.
The result first.
So City were 1-0 up with Anton Semenyo, and then there was a second goal that was not given. The finish by Semenyo, I said I'm so gutted it's been disallowed, because the world is not going to get to see this finish that came off his knee. But let's just take a minute to look at this. So the officials spent somewhere between 4 to 6 minutes looking at this, zooming in on it, zooming out on it, zooming in on it, zooming out on it. Even there, that is not clear. The blue line is going through the boot of the defender.
It's wild. I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet, because I could go on for days, and how VAR, in my opinion, is absolutely sort of eking the life out of football. Who's this for? Who's benefiting? Because it's not the players, it's not the fans. It's really not the fans. Is anyone from a Newcastle persuasion complaining about that? I said short and sweet, but as you can tell,
Amos, I'm happy for you to go on for 5
Yeah.
minutes about this, because if you don't, I will.
It won't be as long as the VAR check was, so we'd probably be fine in that case.
The fact that this is the moment he contacts the ball, tell me what advantage Erling Haaland is causing for either himself or for Anton Semenyo, or what disadvantage he is causing for the goalkeeper.
Natalie, the thing for me is that Thiaw and Haaland are literally hugging each other. So it's not even if it's just like one way. And I think my thing is always a reaction of the players that have conceded, and there was not really that much reaction. I think they realise Semenyo's done amazing to kind of get connection with his knee and improvise in terms of scoring, and it would have been a perfect game for him if he'd scored that goal as well. But I think for me, the whole process, I think Amos has touched on it, is just, it's too long. It takes out the fun of football. It takes out the celebration. Players don't know whether to celebrate or not. And like look, you see the celebration from Semenyo, it's amazing, but now it's just like, well, it's going to be called offside.
It does, and with the Cherki goal, the third goal, which we'll come on to talk about, you pause for a moment before really celebrating, and you heard the boos going around St James's while they were making the decision as well. A decision that was, could have gone in their favour. Well, did go in their favour. They didn't know at that point. They were booing.
Now, if it takes that long to disallow the goal, it should just be the goal.
Yeah.
It's not the offside law. Surely the offside law is to stop someone
the law is the problem, and it creates a problem for the referee. But I think in terms of like giving the benefit of the doubt to the attackers, that is definitely a benefit of the doubt. They're just trying to create a problem.
It's not, and again, they're causing themselves problems because we keep hearing this. VAR will step in if there's a clear and obvious error.
There's nothing clear about it. I mean, I don't know what the solution is. I know Arsene Wenger spoke about perhaps introducing a clear daylight rule, and I think. For me, part of the issue is the offside rule was introduced, 50-odd, 60-odd years ago. It wasn't made for technology era where you can zoom in and you can see the left
That's
heel
not even
of the
clear,
ball.
that picture.
I know, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. So I don't know where we go from here because it just feels like we're getting this and it's getting worse and worse.
You're telling me we could put Carlos Tevez on a horse and they can't get in the pre-match show? They can't get better. David James with a carp and a remote control going in his mouth. They can't get better technology than that.
Oh, it's crazy.
Do you know what? The fact that we got the official second goal is the only thing that's calmed me. But I am
agreed.
Fuming.
Agreed.
Fuming. So I'll take a breath and we'll go on to the third goal because Rayan Cherki came on as a substitute. What an impact he made as well. Before we talk about the finish, the build-up to the goal as well. Rayan Cherki doing Rayan Cherki things, Amos. His little flick on, and then I forgot who he goes out to. Was it Bernard?
Which is another, a great assist for him.
And then his assist that he then runs onto.
It is mind-blowing, and it's just, I've said this so many times now, he's a footballer who makes you enjoy football because what he does is so special, it's so unique. His vision is David Silva-esque, his execution is up there with Kevin De Bruyne. He's obviously not at that level just yet. It's about consistency across a number of seasons. But the way he sees a football pitch is just incredible. And I mean, the pass is one thing, but then to have the awareness to get back into the box, make that run and the finish, losing all of the adjectives because it just gets better and better and better.
And it felt like justice, Steph.
It did, to be honest, and I think especially when Newcastle are trying to push for a goal and Trafford's making saves and we've had corners to defend, I think that was justice. I think even Nuri came on, did really, really well. Semenyo was trying to think forward. Cherki then just finishes off the whole move and I think they can be really happy. I'm sure Pep Guardiola's really happy with the boys tonight, and especially the changes that he made. They came on and made an impact. One
player we didn't talk about at half-time, but we were talking about him while we were watching the game, Nico O'Reilly playing in that deeper midfield role. Obviously Rodri came on at one point and there was, you're going off and Rodri's coming on, you must put your shoulders back for that one. But he did a really good job.
He certainly did, and obviously he's had experience playing in midfield for the EDS team, but that was a little bit more advanced in sort of a number 10 role. So that's what, left back, number 10, holding midfield. He is turning into one of those really versatile players, and you know how much Guardiola appreciates a footballer who can plug and play in different positions. So you've got to say well done to him. I think he's having an incredible season, a genuinely fantastic season.
I want to say as well, obviously, to both the teams out there tonight, that was a League Cup semi-final first leg, and sometimes people talk about the disrespect that some clubs show the League Cup. Obviously not something that we've ever done, given the amount of times that we've won it. And if you'd have watched that game tonight, you could have thought that was a Premier League game, an FA Cup game, a Champions League game. The intensity that was played in that game gives all the deserved respect to this competition.
Yeah, definitely. Even the starting lineups, you look at both teams, I think in terms of the strongest 11 that they could potentially have picked, I think that it was pretty nigh on close in terms of for Newcastle and for us. And I think, look, people think that it's just easy to win a League Cup. It's hard to do that. It's hard to play the games that you have, to have these two-legged semi-finals and to come away with a trophy. There's potentially 4 trophies to fight for some teams, only 3 for others, and there's only certain clubs that win it. So I think from our perspective and also Newcastle, I think in terms of respect for the Cup, I think it was shown there tonight with the quality and the intensity and also like that kind of passion that maybe VAR and other things have maybe taken it out of the game, and certainly it didn't take it out of it tonight.
I loved it. I can't wait for the second leg now. Loved it. It's the 4th of February. It's 3 weeks away. I'm just looking at the calendar. Of course, we have quite a few games before then. We've got the derby at the weekend, then we've got the Champions League Bodo, then we've got Wolves at home, then we've got Galatasaray at home, then we've got Spurs away, and then we've got the second leg. So obviously so much can happen for both teams between now and then, because obviously Newcastle have the European games as well. A lot of football to be played between now and the 4th of February, but at least for the next 3 weeks we can all be comfortable in the knowledge that we will take a 2-goal lead into the second leg of the League Cup semi-final. And as I say, many, many games to play before then, and that will start on Saturday. Oh no! Now this game's done, Amos. It means that I've got to think ahead now to the worst day in the year.
I know.
The away leg of Derby Day. City take on United in the Premier League. It is Saturday. It is a 12:30 kickoff. It's at Old Trafford. Matchday Live will be with you from 11:10. Kel will be here in the studio with Izzy, and FG will be at Old Trafford with Luke Stanley and Michael Brown. So it is a jam-packed show for you on Saturday. I'm going to go and get in a hole for a few days because I hate Derby Day. Same?
I can't stand it. It's the worst
game. I feel the nerves in the studio
It's the worst
already.
game.
I'm sorry, Steph.
Calm, guys, calm.
Breathe
Can you
in.
just call me every day, Steph,
I will
and just
do.
say
I'm going to
calm,
message and just like, just calm down, Natalie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what situation they're in,
No.
what we're in, the cliches that everything goes out the window is just so true.
I know, and the fact it's 12:30 is either a blessing or sort of a curse, because you've got the whole weekend then. If you win, it's great. But if I'm not even going to say the words. But, you know, yeah, it's the worst game of the season for me.
We mentioned before in the pre-match show as well that Michael Carrick has been appointed the new interim manager, head coach.
Who knows nowadays?
Not the manager, because Ruben Amorim was not the manager.
Famously.
The new head coach of Manchester United. So, new manager bounce, Steph, is it a thing?
I think with some clubs, I think with Manchester United right now, how do we even gauge how they're going to react, especially when you're playing against your arch rivals in Manchester City? And it's a big game for both teams. I think for us, we're obviously, after tonight's result, it gives us a lot of confidence going to Old Trafford. That performance away from home is unbelievable. But yeah, I think I understand why you guys are nervous, because anything can happen, because it is a derby. And but look, I think the way that we've played this season, and we've got to keep putting pressure on Arsenal. I think we can do that straight away on Saturday, hopefully.
Oh, that would be lovely, just to dampen Michael Carrick straight away as well. That would be really lovely. In terms of the derby as well, I think it's perfect time for Phil Foden and Erling Haaland, Amos, because we adore them, but they've not been quite hitting the levels the last 3 or 4 games as they were prior to that. But they both love a derby. They love a hat-trick in a derby. Could this ignite them?
I think it will do. Erling Haaland, obviously, really has a great record, not only against United, but at Old Trafford as well. And Ryan Cherki, I mean, I watched a game against Lyon. He played at Old Trafford last season, and he tore them to shreds. So he's obviously got a little bit of history playing there as well. So do you know what? I don't even care. I just win. If it's going to be off someone's backside or something like that, just get the win, and that'll do me.
Yeah, you're right. Anything. I can't wait to see Cherki. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Didn't he say when he joined that he's looking forward to getting some revenge?
Something like that, yeah, because they knocked him out, didn't they, last minute? Yeah.
In terms of United as well, they've got Brian Mbeumo is back from AFCON, sadly. Because in terms of their players, he's definitely been one of the standouts this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at United, that probably were hitting a tiny little bit of form when Mbeumo was scoring. You've got Cunha coming back. Šeško's maybe trying to get a little bit of form. He's getting used to how they play, but I think for me they are dangerous players. But look, I think even though we're probably light in the defensive area, I think you look at the performances of Max-Lane and Kusanov, especially tonight, they were outstanding. So another game where they can build their confidence, get used to each other and take it into Saturday. And no matter if Mbeumo's back from AFCON, we can cope with them.
If you can keep a clean sheet and keep your head the way that Kusanov and Elaine did tonight at St James's Park on a Tuesday night, you can do it at Old Trafford.
Absolutely. And that will be such a momentum boost, because you'll know better than anyone here. Like players feed off that. If the dressing room's up and the heads are going in the right direction. And I think 2026 was a bit of a slow start for City, 3 draws on a row, but 10-1. Big win away at Newcastle, as we said beforehand in the pre-match. Not the best of records in recent seasons. So you go away to Old Trafford, and I think that momentum will be high, and the vibes in the dressing room will be good.
And the form that Anton Semenyo's in.
Yeah. He's already scored at Old Trafford this season.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he scored for Bournemouth in that 4-4. So fingers crossed he's not used them all up, but that'll be another hopefully another goal for him.
Oh, and he scored at Anfield as well, didn't he?
Yes.
So
got them in a few weeks as well.
Look forward to that one. Can he score? Has he scored at Spurs yet? Because we always need that.
Oh, yeah, true. Hopefully the curse doesn't run off on him.
But with his form, and obviously, I feel like this result tonight, Steph, will be a really timely boost going into this derby game at the weekend.
Yeah, it definitely does, especially with the schedule that the boys have had. I think it's always hard, their night games, when you don't really get the result. You're getting back at 2, 3 in the morning and you feel probably a little bit more tired than you normally would do. But I think when you've got a win in the performance and the amount of players that were used today, I think it does generally give the squad a boost. And I'm sure they'll either probably recover in the morning, maybe get a day off by Pep and then be ready to go again for the derby. So we're so experienced with these 3-4 a game every 3 or 4 days. And look, this is what the squad that we built for, to go to Old Trafford and hopefully go and perform.
Pep's just said in his post-match interview that Semenyo and Haaland are clicking.
Nice. 2 games in.
Yes, please.
That's what you want to hear.
Click at Old Trafford. That would be lovely.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Oh, and then Phil Foden as well doing something at Cherki.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm looking forward to it now.
Me too. Thanks, Steph.
See, 10 minutes and we've changed the vibe in this room.
10 minutes with Steph and you end up smiling. Thank you. Thank you so much, Steph. Thank you, as always, for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you very much, hat-trick.
I know, yeah. 2 wins, 1 draw so far. So
2 wins,
unbeaten.
1 draw. That's not bad.
Yeah, take that.
Decent. What about your predictions?
2 wins, 1 not so draw. A loss, I think.
Okay.
I think predicted against
Brighton. Are we going to start calling losses not so draws?
I mean, it's a bit more positive, isn't it?
We had 3 not so draws. I love that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you all for joining us on Matchday Live again. We so appreciate your company. Shout out as well to Michael Brown, as always, and to Alistair Mann for the commentary. And we mentioned this at half-time, but if you didn't get a chance to watch, there is a new special feature coming out across all of City's channels, and it is all about that incredible FA Cup run that we had that started the tide of change in Manchester and indeed in world football as well. So just to, keep your appetites wet ahead of the game this weekend, have a look at the trophy that kick-started a new era.
One of the longest waits in football is over. Manchester City are winners again.
It's been 35 years since Manchester City last won a major trophy. Do you feel that desperation from the fans?
I think that is a time that Manchester City win a title. FA Cup is a very important title. I am excited for this.
It's the master against the protege, a former City boss against the current incumbent. Ericsson against Mancini, and Leicester City will have an early opportunity to examine Manchester City. Floated in by Gallagher, touched on, and Leicester ahead!